First-time homebuyers in Queensland can expect to save tens of thousands of dollars as stamp duty is slashed.
On Sunday, the Premier of Queensland announced a significant change to policy aimed to help first home buyers in Queensland get into the market sooner. So today we're going to break this down, what it means for you, if you've signed a contract, and much, much more. Jayden, tell us what's actually happened here.
Yeah, for the first time in 10 years, the Queensland state government is increasing the stamp duty waiver threshold.
Previously, the stamp duty threshold was up to $500,000 where you pay nil stamp duty. This has increased to $700,000, which means eligible first homeowners could actually save up to $17,000 in stamp duty. Now, for vacant land, the threshold has increased from $250,000 to $350,000.
The changes are expected to help over 10,000 home buyers per year, with the real intention to make first home buyers more competitive in the current market. Brisbane's property market is hotter than ever. House prices have risen only second to Sydney. The competition is completely fierce. Last year alone, over 116,000 new residents arrived from overseas interstate, adding to that demand.
Experts say due to low supply and high demand, property prices in Brisbane are soaring. Tim Lawless from CoreLogic highlights how median values across Brisbane have risen by over $12,000 every month.
Now, to offset these changes to the first home buyer stamp duty, the government is increasing surcharges for foreign investors. The land tax surcharge will rise to 3% and transfer duty surcharge will be adjusted to 8% in line with Victoria and New South Wales.
Now let's have a quick look at the recent change in stamp duty. For example, if you're buying a property up to $700,000 now, the stamp duty that you would have otherwise paid is $17,350. And let's say, for example, you bought a property for $611,000. That means the stamp duty that you now don't need to pay is $13,381. So we can see there's massive savings for those looking to purchase up to $700,000. There will be a discount from $700,000 to $800,000. Now we're waiting for official documentation from the Queensland Government State Revenue Office, but at the moment this has all been announced by the Premier and was actually activated from the 9th, which is Sunday the 9th, to really go ahead. So we've seen some massive changes here, really designed to help those first homeowners. Jayden, what if you actually signed a contract before the 9th of June? What does it mean for you out there?
Yeah, you need to get legal advice. So this is not legal advice. This is not personal advice. This is general information only. So you absolutely need to speak to a lawyer. Generally speaking, with stamp duty, it's based on the date of the contract of sale. So if you signed a contract last week, you won't get these concessions, is sort of the end of it. If the contract were to get rescinded and you'd re-sign, speaking with a lawyer earlier this morning, they said the Office of State Revenue can actually audit that and they can ask you, well, is this same property the same one you signed a contract to last week? Are you only doing this for the stamp duty change? And you can still be liable for that extra stamp duty. So it does get fairly complicated. And I guess the secondary risk is because you have to shred up that contract, you could go back to the seller and say, hey, I'm going to get like a $17,000 stamp duty discount. Can you cancel the contract? We'll re-sign it today. The seller could say, well, what's the benefit for me? I could try and get another offer. You could get gazumped. Someone else could come in, steal the property out from under you. So it is pretty risky to try and go back on this now.
Especially as we saw earlier with the CoreLogic report recently saying there's a $12,000 increase month on month. If you tear up that contract, the vendor might actually go back to market and try and get a higher offer. So something to really think about there. If you have signed a contract, you will be liable for the stamp duty prior to the change. If you signed a contract on the 9th onwards, then you'd be eligible for the stamp duty concessions. As Jayden said earlier, talk to your solicitor, talk to your legal representative, and make sure you understand what the implications of this change are for you, particularly if you're in a finance period or a cooling off period and you decide to pull out. What does that actually mean?
And that's the other thing too. If you do try and terminate using your cooling off, you could be liable to lose 0.25% of the purchase price. So you need to chat with your lawyer, work out what the implications of this are. But the other good news, Nathan, is this works in pretty well with the home guarantee scheme. So is it possible to buy a home for $700,000 and use both schemes?
Yeah, you can really sandwich these together. So as we know, the home guarantee scheme is for first homeowners out there looking to purchase a property in Queensland or in Brisbane specifically. The price cap is limited to a $700,000 purchase. So what that means is you can do a 5% deposit with no other cost. So $35,000 is really all you need. You need a little bit of cost for your legals and your building a pet, so probably another $2,000 there. But if you've got $37,000, you can get into the market now because the stamp duty is no longer a thing. So a big win there for a lot of first homeowners looking to purchase under that $700,000 mark. Jayden, is there anything else first homeowners need to be aware of with these changes or anything else that's generally advisable for them?
Yeah, we'll keep bringing out information as more comes to pass, because like we said, the Office of State Revenue hasn't actually updated their website. It's based on the Premier's announcements on his socials yesterday and some of the correspondence out from the Queensland government. If you've got a current active contract, speak to a lawyer, get specific legal advice in your situation, because it does get fairly complicated. And there's some pretty big risks there that, potentially ripping up that contract could come attached with. And if you're looking at finance, hit us up at Hunter Galloway. We're the home for home buyers across Australia. So we help people all across the state. Obviously, this affects if you're buying a home in Queensland. So hit us up. If you need any help, huntergalloway.com.au. We'd love to help out.